Alright, so this week I'm flying with you and Kay in this great game of mystery, love, and adventure. Alright, so hopping into Haven. Wow, this game, it actually really shocked me because it is such a heavy story based game that usually with these I kind of get bored or I just get disconnected from the characters. It's just sometimes they just drag out. But this game, honestly, for just having two characters majority of the time, they really kind of kept you in it. Their relationship between you and Kay, it's really something that can resonate, I think, with a lot of people. At a lot of times, you're laughing with them, or you're just just understanding that this is typical relationship bickering between one another, and it's quite comical. And then there's other times where it really kind of pulls your heartstrings and almost makes you cry, I could even say. But that'll to say, this game is really cool. It's a little slow at the start, and the whole pace in the game is honestly just very relaxing and slow. There is actually some combat that does take a little bit of time to actually get into, but it's there and it's unique. It's all in real time, where you're kind of set out to either attack with two different types of damage. You have impact and blast, both of which are two different types. So sometimes the enemies are in one position or facing the other, so you have to use one or the other moves, or some enemies just require the impact or the blast type. So there's a little bit of variety there. You also have the option to shield, so you kind of want to have this balance of having one character shielding, because when you do that it blocks for both of them, and then the other character either attacking or then pacifying the enemies that you take down, because you don't just kill the enemies, you actually pacifying, you're rescuing them throughout this whole game.
I'll keep them at bay.
You started it. You?
Yep. Zara.
Oh, Bloot! Let's get it over with. Shielding.
Perfect.
You're safe.
Nice. Bam!
Go, girl.
Because this game is basically you going and exploring and ridding these little islands or islets of rust, and all these creatures that are kind of randomly stuck in it are hostile because of this rust. And you and Kay, the two main characters, you use this material. It's kind of like, I don't want to say gasoline, but it's a type of fuel, and you just use it to boost around. You're actually kind of doing this hovering, kind of flying thing with your boots, and the fuel that you use is called flow. And the way you obtain it is throughout the map, there are these little kind of strands or threads of flow where you have to follow them along their path to recharge your flow meter. So it's, like I said, this kind of this unique little twist on this game, and as you can see with my review, it's very just beautiful and all about the setting and the total atmosphere of this game. It kind of goes along with the story. Alright, so the story, it follows you and Kay, and you're on this planet, I guess you could say, called Source. And it's only you two, or so you think it's only you two, on this very isolated planet. And really, as you play the game, you kind of find out their backstory. Hopping right into it, you don't really know anything. You know that they clearly are together and that they escaped from their previous planet. So, you know, leaving it into your hands to play the game and just to really kind of learn more about this, I can just say that, you know, the creatures and the characters and just everything that they've created, I think is just very unique and just solid like this game. Now, there were a couple things that I have to complain about, and they're just very minor. I had my subtitles on, of course, and there were a couple grammatical errors or spelling errors, but realistically, I only noticed 2, and that was about 2 to 3/4 of the way through the game, so that's pretty impressive in my opinion, considering 90% of the game is dialogue. So that was pretty good. And another thing is too, there was just a couple clipping things where a creature sat down and it was half in the ground, or you know, I dove off the cliff and then I just clipped right through the mountain. But again, that was only a couple times, and I could say that me playing on the Xbox Series X, this game ran pretty well. It ran at high frames. The only thing that I could really say, and I'm not sure if it's something on my Xbox or something on the game itself, but it actually really chugged my RAM on my Series X. I don't know what it is, but whenever I have this game running, I can't do anything else. It lags my entire home screen, it lags everything, to the point where I have to only play that or quit the game when I'm not playing it, because quick resume with this game, it's not worth it. The whole system just chugs whenever this thing is running in the background or just running. So hopefully that's something that will get figured out soon, or maybe, like I said, it's on my end. The Series X and this game, it's also very new, so I can't tell you much more than what I'm dealing with. With that all to say, it's still a really great game, because while you're exploring, you're gathering all these resources and going back to home base and crafting and healing, and then while you're doing all this stuff, constantly interacting with you and Kay, with very relatable conversations and hilarious conversations, and then some very serious.
You?
Yeah?
I see you've brushed your hair in the shower again.
How can you tell?
It's not draining.
Sorry.
So if I was gonna score this one, it's really not that tough. I had a great time with this game. If you're into a slower paced game, but something that has a very strong, you know, love-based and actually combat-based game, then this is definitely the game for you. I definitely suggest you check this one out. I have to give this one a 7.5. An intelligently crafted universe that complements a beautiful art style, all while knowing exactly what it wants to be. It does have a slow pace, but the game does well at showing the trials and tribulations of dating while uncovering an overshadowing mystery on the planet Source.
One to go.
Awesome! This one's ready.
Yep,
Your turn.
I'm on it. Well done. The end.